How are you today? It's Melissa with Hang In There. I'm grateful to all of you listening right now. Thank you for helping us spread our message. To anyone feeling hopeless today, we extend hope. To those of you feeling the weight of lost time, wondering how so much of your life slipped by in survival, we are here with you. Every step forward counts. It's never too late to reclaim your life. To any parent holding guilt in their hearts, we offer you peace. You fought and protected under unimaginable pressure. To everyone who has escaped, you are inspirational, and may you heal. To all who have been abused or are currently living through it, along with everyone who has been affected by abuse, we fight for you, and we understand. You are not alone anymore. I always knew my time would come, that I would get out, that I just had to be prepared, and my kids had to be old enough. I remember just feeling it, knowing it. I would tell myself that I was not going to live that way forever, that I would not grow old in that situation. I had more that I wanted to do. My priority at that time, though, was raising my kids, trying to shield them, teach them, keep them happy, help them grow up to be kind, happy, and loving human beings. And that took time. I remember how slow time would move. The days would feel endless sometimes, torturous. The tension in that house was so thick it was suffocating. I felt like there were eyes on me everywhere, and I had nowhere to go. I rarely left the house alone, and if I did, I would be questioned. It just wasn't worth it. I felt like I had no privacy. Nothing was just for me. I had no space to think. I didn't have a cell phone of my own for years. I had very limited time to think my own thoughts or form my own beliefs. It felt like my time was not mine. I didn't want to go anywhere without my kids because then the interaction at home wouldn't be supervised. It would have been nice to have gone somewhere alone when the kids were at friends' houses or sometimes when they had sports at the same time, but I rarely did. To pass the time at home, I would keep very busy, not sit down, because if I sat, I was approachable. If I kept moving and moving quickly and intentionally, I could act as though I didn't notice him watching me or waiting for me. It seemed to keep me safer, at least in my mind. It's still really hard for me to relax, to stop moving. I get restless and anxious. And if I'm upset about something, I do the same thing to this day. I just keep moving, cleaning, landscaping the yard, cleaning the windows, just constantly moving. Those closest to me understand this now and will ask me questions. They know I'm upset about something when I can't sit still, that I'm very anxious, or that my symptoms have been triggered somehow. But now I have support. If I want to talk about it, I can, and I feel safe enough to express my feelings. Sometimes it's tough to find the words to explain. Sometimes still I cannot put my finger on it. How do I convince myself that the time spent surviving wasn't wasted? Well, I have my beautiful children. I would do it all over again for them. I never really thought excessively about how or when I would get out until the kids were nearly grown. I just knew that I had to be prepared to have the option to leave by then. To me, it was worth staying, having the peace of mind, knowing I was there to protect them. I know I did the right thing in staying. They are kind, thoughtful, loving, and honest adults now, and I'm incredibly proud. They are hurt, and they do struggle. And I promise you it's not because I left, like I was told would happen. I know for a fact that they are strong and wise. But I cannot minimize what they went through, and I cannot cast a spell on them to forget things that they saw or heard. I wish to God that I could. I think as a mom, we should be granted that gift, to help our children forget their pain. When I became their mother, I had the very best intentions, the highest hopes of providing a joy-filled and calm childhood, with a loving home and a safe home, one that produced confident, happy, and healthy adults. I could not give them the kind of childhood I hoped to, even though I really tried. With every breath I took, every thought was for them, every choice. Each book I read to them, all of the board games, the bike rides through the forest, each curl in her hair, every football play in the yard, all the car rides where we could just talk alone. My life was for them. Looking back now, I still wouldn't have done it any differently, given our situation. And it's quite amazing that despite all they've been through, they're still confident, kind, compassionate, and loving adult children, and I am so grateful. But all that time, my time, what I went through, their time, their childhood, what they went through. I've been thinking about this often. I'm certain many of you can relate. As I've been opening up to my kids more, I'm worried. What if they think that I stayed because of them? It was the kind of conversation I didn't know how to address at first. I knew as adult children that they had enough information. They understood I stayed to protect them. At least that's how I hope they viewed it. I've had many conversations with them about this. I needed them to know the truth. So there was no doubt, no guilt, no blame lingering in their minds and hearts because I chose to stay. I know this is such a hard conversation for many of us parents to have, but I felt it was extremely important for me to discuss with them for their mental health and for mine. I think it's worth repeating too. Remember, we were all trained not to trust ourselves. Children too, maybe even more. We need to remind them, alleviate their burden. We stayed out of love for them. Children, even adult children, very often will internalize blame, and we have the power to shift how our children see things. By being open and honest with them when they're ready, I feel like this can be such a powerful conversation, a healing opportunity. A child may remember the anxiousness, fear, or confusion, but wonder why no one helped, why that all remained, and why nothing changed. I explained to my children how I lost close contact with my family early on. After leaving 4 times to family members' homes, it felt to me that they had gotten frustrated with me going back, and I was embarrassed. So I did the typical thing and pulled away, told them everything was better. They stopped asking. I stopped telling them. I figured no one could help me anyway, and I didn't feel safe confiding in them. I felt judged. I remember at one point a family member confronted me over the phone and was angry at me for not showing up to family events. I felt betrayed. I really felt as though that person knew enough about what was going on where they shouldn't have judged me. So I pulled back even further. I felt so alone. I was literally trapped with no options for what felt like an undetermined amount of time. I had no end in sight. I literally had to just hang in there and wait. Providing age-appropriate details to our children, along with sharing the struggles and reasons for our decisions, can really enlighten them. It can help them fill in the missing pieces. This helps provide clarity. It helps them heal. It helps them feel emotionally safe. Naming the abuse, how difficult life was, really validates their feelings and reassures them that they were and are not imagining things. Children are highly perceptive, even when they're very young, some more than others. I would catch mine hiding so they could still hear the arguments when I thought they were out of the vicinity. I'll never forget catching my daughter listening on the stairs and the look on her face. It broke my heart. I tried so hard to protect them, and sometimes I just couldn't. In those moments, it was unbelievably difficult to stay positive, not question myself, not feel like a failure. I convinced myself that I was not a failure, even though every piece of me felt like one. I knew that I was the anchor my children depended on, who they counted on. I carried that enormous weight because I had to, not because I was weak. Yes, there were numerous moments where I felt like falling apart, hiding, when I just wished I could have had time to think. But I never forgot I was not failing. I couldn't fail. I was protecting. I was loving them the very best I could. I like to remind my children that I'm not broken, not because of them, that I'm strong, that I was trying to protect them. I truly felt that being with them every day was the very best decision for them, and that meant staying, and sometimes having to wear a mask, having to hide things from them that I thought would hurt them. It makes me so incredibly sad that their childhood was hard, and I'm sorry that what I chose for them was still very difficult and had consequences. I really did choose the best path I could with the options I had. I made the choices I did because I loved them. Children are never responsible for an adult's choices. My babies did not cause the abuse, and it was not their job to save me. It was not their fault. My children did not steal my time. They made my time beautiful. They saved it. They put smiles on my face when I needed it most. Their laughter gave me hope when I had little left. My children made my time priceless. I pray that they put that weight down and let go of any ounce of guilt and never feel the need to carry it again. None of us will get the time back. It was kind of hijacked and manipulated and also distorted. It can be so emotionally, mentally, and physically draining to live in that environment. Time gets blurry. Depending on the circumstance, a person may spend months, even years, walking on eggshells, waiting for the tension to ease, wondering when the next blow-up would be, or waiting for, praying for reprieve, some sort of help. Many days feeling as though they would never end, like each minute took an hour to pass by, just being stuck in time. Living like that steals time, distracting victims, forcing them to rearrange the plans or goals they had for themselves, many times putting them off entirely. Victims may try to convince themselves that they'll leave when the kids get older, or focus on themselves when life gets a bit more calm, or go back for that degree next year. Abusers do a fantastic job creating blurriness, especially while gaslighting, confusing you and disrupting your memory, saying things such as, "That never happened," or "Give me a specific example, you're exaggerating," or even, "That was weeks ago, or months, or years ago. You're holding on to that?" They are distorting time. This leaves the victim feeling unsure of how long abuse has even been happening, wondering if it really is that bad. The cycle of abuse in itself distorts time. The constant spiraling, looping that never ends. One minute you're being doted on, the next abused. Then the apologies, the promises. Maybe you began to hope again. It's no wonder a victim loses track of time. Time exists differently in these situations, good days and bad days. Months and years really aren't important in these moments. Surviving is. But while surviving it, living through it, it feels as though time barely moves, living in anticipation every day, living in uncertainty. Where there's abuse, time becomes another weapon. Slowly and strategically, the abuser obtains the ability to control when you speak, when you sleep, when you leave the house, when you wear certain clothes, when you are allowed to wear makeup, until you forget the time was ever yours at all. Time goes by so slowly when the abuser is there, leaving a victim praying for the weekend to be over so they'll go to work, or wanting to get the holidays over with so they aren't stuck in the house. And then sadly, the time you wish you could slow down, such as your children growing up, that time just flies by. As if you blinked and your life happened, and you spent so much of it in survival mode. It is common for an abuser to make their victims feel as though it is too late to start over by using statements such as, "No one else will love you at your age," or "You're lucky I'm even with you," or "You could never live the way you want to on your own." These phrases are spoken to induce fear and are designed to put a stop to any thoughts of escaping. Some abusers will even use their own trauma or past experiences to excuse their behavior by saying things like, "I'm a way better father than mine was," or "I'm not hitting anyone. That's better than what happened to me." Abuse consumes the energy that should have been given to growing as a person. And if the abuse begins early on in a person's life, it can stunt development. It can delay independence, delay identity formation, leaving a victim feeling unsure of exactly who they are, what they stand for, or what they believe. It also affects a person's ability to build healthy relationships. When a person finally leaves thinking the hardest times are over and behind them, it hits. The grief, it's real, and it is valid. Lost time. Dreams you had that were never able to be chased or achieved. Ruined holidays. Hollow birthdays reminding you of precious time. Lost friendships. Your 20s. Your 30s. Going out with friends, discovering exactly who you are, who you want to be, or what you stand for, and discovering that for yourself, on your own. It's normal to ask yourself, who would I have been if? Or what would my life have looked like if? It is healthy to grieve these losses. Many who have lost time due to abuse feel as though they have to make up time. When I went to college, I was the oldest student in my class by nearly a decade. But I was probably the happiest to be there. I had waited so long. I felt I had to catch up due to lost time. When I graduated, I worked all the hours possible to get that experience because I felt I had lost years of it. I thought I should be further along in my career than I was for my age. And while that kind of thinking is normal, it is not the healthiest. I had to slow down and realize that all the time that I'd spent surviving was not wasted. It was taken from me. That I just had to take it back, reclaim it as mine, and enjoy my time, not burn myself out. Even though the clock continues to tick, time continues to go by, at least it's mine. It's my time to live my life how I want to. And I'm very conscious of it and incredibly grateful for my life and the opportunity to be here. I'm choosing to take this time, my time, to pause and breathe and reset. Because I can. Because I'm free, and this moment and this time belongs to me. Right now, whether you are trapped in abuse or have escaped it and are healing, listen in this moment. This time is yours. Please take it. Breathe. It is time to reclaim your life, and you don't have to be free to begin. Even if you are still trapped, you can start right now, with the smallest act of resistance. In tiny moments when you remind yourself of who you are, hope begins to grow. Take time right now and think about who you are. What are your favorite songs? Not your abusers, your favorite songs. If you aren't allowed to play them, remember them. Play them in your mind. Write your thoughts on paper. If that makes you nervous, write them in your phone if you have one, and then delete them. Do this to remind yourself that you have a voice. Writing is powerful and therapeutic. Take time for yourself in the shower, in the bathroom. Look out a window and remind yourself there is a world waiting for you when you're ready. Remind yourself that you are not crazy and that you deserve better. I cannot tell you just how powerful positive self-talk can be. Start thinking of an exit plan. Think of how to take the steps to get out, even if you aren't sure when it will be. Keep thinking, even if you cannot act on it yet. And this is so important. Please remember, your freedom begins with you recognizing that you deserve it. For those of you who are physically free and are on the journey of reclaiming your life, this is just the beginning. Take the time to rediscover who you want to be. You are wiser now. You can make this new life anything you want it to be. What a gift it is just to have the freedom to feel true safety and joy. When you are ready, find your voice. You aren't silenced anymore. Speak up, even if your voice shakes. Rebuild self-trust. Learn about trauma. Find a therapist if you don't already have one. Consider joining a support group. You no longer need to explain how you spend your time or wait to do things you have wanted to do. And you are allowed to do nothing at all. You no longer owe anyone your time. Be kind to your body. It was hurt, maybe criticized or controlled. Maybe you didn't have the time or means to care for it, but you do now. Dance, walk, ground yourself, feel the dirt beneath your feet. You are in control now. Many survivors rebuild from nothing, and that's okay. It's a new beginning, and it's yours. Look at what you've already overcome. None of us are out of time, but we are allowed to grieve the time we lost, the time that was stolen. Remember, you are not imagining these feelings. They are real. They do not define us, though. We are not defined by what broke us or by what we lost, but by what we strive for, what we are brave enough to chase after. It doesn't matter how quickly you heal or how fast you leave. What truly matters is that in every unique situation, you choose to keep living, that you refuse to give up on yourself, on your children, that you show up and keep fighting. Reclaim moments. You still have time, and you are not alone. I know these conversations are very draining, but they are extremely necessary. They help us to support each other, help those who may seem lost feel less alone. They help guide and provide hope to those physically free but fighting to heal. These tough discussions are instrumental in educating younger generations. Open and honest conversations about abuse are not taught in schools. Helping our younger people understand what to watch out for and what is not healthy or acceptable as they enter dating could save lives. Studies show that the relationship patterns learned as a young person more often shape the ones chosen as an adult. For so many very important reasons, we need to continue talking. We need to reach people in all kinds of situations and stages of life. I cannot do it alone. I need your support. I'm just one person trying to help, and I'm determined. If we join together, we can demand a world where no child or survivor is left unprotected and powerless, where the law stands firm against abuse, and where family and friends have the knowledge to provide true support and compassion to loved ones. We have the power to raise a generation who refuses to accept abuse, because we taught them they deserve respect and safety and love. Please subscribe to this podcast. Share it with a loved one, a friend, a coworker. Talk about it with your daughter or your son. Have discussions with them. Please spread the strength. Together we can make a huge difference with our time right now. We can help people. Let's make Hang In There more than a podcast. Help me to build a movement for change and hope and education. I truly and sincerely thank you for listening, for believing in my message, and for choosing to stand together. We are creating something bigger than ourselves, and I am deeply grateful. Hang in there. It's not too late. You still have time.